Focus on current and ongoing projects and quality of life information.
In District 2, Councilwoman Taylor held a Neighborhood Association President's Meeting at the Barbara Jordan Center on January 31st. The purpose of the meeting was to update Neighborhood Association presidents on the 2012 bond, crime, Eastside revitalization projects, fire safety initiatives, announce upcoming events and programs occurring in the Eastside, and to provide answers pertaining to code compliance, solid waste, and public works. And coming up next, find out what has local residents enamored with hair. Hair and hair and hair. Oh my! San Antonioans are in a buzz about the Sonya Clark exhibition, the only exhibition in San Antonio where artist Sonya Clark discusses, well, hair. Through Sonya's solo exhibition, presented by the Southwest School of Art lovers are shown the identity of Clark through symbolism carried in everyday objects, including hair.
Now, one of the things that you'll notice if you come and see the show is that I have a lot of references to hair. And the reason that I use hair in my work, or references to cornrowing and braiding and all those things that we know how to do with our hair, is that the difference between knitting and the difference between cornrowing is not much of a difference at all. You're taking some threads or taking some hair and using your really fine motor skills to do something pretty incredible, to make a pretty incredible art form. And so that's the other thing that I do in my work. I use things like thread and sometimes actual human hair to talk about the presence of Black people, to talk about our identity. And so by using those textiles, those shared traditions of cornrowing or knitting or embroidering, I'm talking about us, and I'm talking about our history. I'm talking about our stories as Americans. I'm talking about our stories as African Americans, and sometimes I'm talking about my story, Sonya's story. But I'm hoping you'll find something interesting in all of this. I got interested in art because my grandmother was a tailor, and so she used to stitch clothing all the time. And when she would come and visit me, she actually spent most of her time living in Jamaica, but she would come and visit us in DC, where I grew up. And she would say, okay, Sonya, if you want me to tell you stories, then you have to sit next to me and stitch with me. So from a very early age, I had this association between stitching with my grandmother, who I adored, and getting really, really great stories. What was I stitching on? Well, of course I was stitching on cloth, and that's how I got very interested in working with textiles. I also like to think that one of the reasons that I use textiles in my work, or cloth, is that we're always wearing clothing, and you know that we communicate a lot to one another through the clothing that we wear. You can tell if someone's wearing jeans that are about 10 years out of fashion, right? And you can tell if someone is wearing a shirt that's that's not what people are wearing these days. So we have this an incredible amount of information that we give to each other through clothing and through textiles. And also, since we're wearing clothing all the time, we're always touching it. Our bodies are always touching it. We know what clothing feels like. There's a lot of information that's also being communicated through clothing and through textiles and through cloth on our bodies that we're not even speaking about. So I thought that if I'm going to be a visual artist, I'm not always there to speak about the work. I should take a medium, take a material that people understand, that they're always touching, or they know that it communicates something one way or another. And so that's why I use textiles in my work. Partially because of my grandmother and the great stories she told me, and partially because of the great stories we tell each other through the clothing that we wear. And I'm just trying as an artist to tell you some stories, or even bring up some questions through using textiles in my artwork. Thinking about, I want to be an artist, what do I need to do to become an artist? One of the things I would encourage you to do is to come to a place like Southwest School of the Arts. I'm sure they have youth programs. Make sure that you get to know a lot of different ways of working. Figure out how to draw, figure out how to use your hands well, figure out what it is that really interests you so that you're taking your vision into the world. Don't try and make anybody else's artwork. That artwork is already out in the world. Try and figure out what vision you have to bring to the world. And then try and get those skills. Try and accumulate skills so that when you decide that you're going to embroider something, paint something, sculpt something out of clay, chisel something out of wood, pour something out of bronze, that you know how to do it well. Now, the other thing that I would tell you is that as you're working on becoming an artist, a lot of people will say to you, why are you doing that? How are you going to make any money doing that? That is not the reason to become an artist. Don't try and become an artist to become rich and famous. If that's why you want to become an artist, you probably should pick something else to do. But if you love art, if it's the thing you really love doing, then you should absolutely do it, because nobody can take away your passion from you. You should never let anyone take away your passion. That's all.
The Sonya Clark's exposition will be on display until February 19th. For more information on Southwest School of Art, please call 210-224-1848 or visit www.swschool.org. And coming up next, find out where local residents are dumping their unwanted waste. Local residents came in by the droves to partake in the free Landfill and Brush Recycling Day, held on February 4th. The free event, sponsored by the City of San Antonio Department of Solid Waste, allowed the City of San Antonio residents, solid waste ratepayers, to bring brush and bulky items such as mattresses, appliances, sofas, and car tires to be recycled the proper way. Residents could visit 6 locations. For more information on the Department of Waste, please visit www.sanantonio.gov/SWMD. And coming up next, see what these dancers are so joyous about. Local residents participated in the Cultural Extravaganza event held at the Carver Library in celebration of Black History Month. Local residents enjoyed a dance performance by Harambe Creative Dance and art performers, spirituals and gospels performed by St. Paul United Methodist Men's Choir, and readings from slave narratives and anthology, The Color of Strength. For more information on the Carver Library, please call 210-225-7801. And coming up next, find out what this meeting is all about when a closer view of District 2 returns. Local neighbors participated in the Captain's Substation briefing. The briefing provided residents with information pertaining to the Eastside regarding code compliance, animal care services, crime, and education updates. The Captain's Substation briefings are bi-monthly and occur the second Wednesday of the month. The next Captain's Substation briefing will be on April 11th at 6 p.m. at the Eastside Substation located at 3635 East Houston.
Thank you for tuning in to A Closer View of District 2. As you can see, there's a wide variety of exciting projects and activities happening throughout District 2, all designed to make our community a better place to live. I look forward to seeing you next time on a closer view of District 2. Again, thanks for watching. I'm Ivy Taylor, your council person for San Antonio Council District 2.